Welcome back, everybody. We're here to pull cards for the 19th of May. I am going to be pulling one card for overall energy. One wants to pop out, but it didn't make it down to the table, so we're not going to take it. But one card for overall energy, and then after that, we'll pull a card for each sign and see how those energies work together to come up with our predictions for the day. So let's see. If you want to know your sun sign, that's a good place to start. If you also know your rising and your moon sign, that's a good way to flesh out more details to get a better, more full picture of the types of things that you can expect to be impacting your day. As far as overall energy, what we have showing up, the one that almost popped out, but now it's flipped in reverse, where before it was not. We have our high priestess coming up in reverse. So, High Priestess in reverse talks about this idea of having a hard time being objective. It seems like we had something really similar to this just lately. Hmm. I don't think it was in the overall energy, though. I don't remember now. Go figure. I always tell people I'm like the girl from 51st Dates. I forget things faster than people can feed the information to me. But anyway, so this can be a situation where we are not feeling like we can be objective to look at it in a way that would be productive or healthy. Hmm. Yeah. And then the other way this could come up would be completely different. And that would be that our psychic abilities are growing or expanding big time in a way that is impossible to miss. So it's going to be interesting to see how this comes out for everybody. Aries card just fell, but I'm feeling like I still need to shuffle a little bit more for everybody else. All right. Aries. Seven of Swords in reverse or Seven of Arrows in reverse in this deck. So in this deck, this talks about insecurities more than anything else. And when it's in reverse, it talks about losing some of our insecurities. So I'm going to say it's pretty much a no-brainer here, Aries, that what's going on is you're tapping into your own intuitive abilities, whether you mean to or not. And a lot of times when our high priestess comes in reverse, we're not really trying to. Things just show up. All of a sudden, we just can't deny that something just happened that we can't explain. And it happened to us. So this is basically our own intuition just making itself known. So Aries, I think you're going to have something remarkable happen today. Remarkable and undeniably connected with your intuition. Next up, we're looking at Taurus. 10 of Bows coming up here in reverse. Taurus, this tells me that you're feeling pretty confused about something, can't be excuse me, can't be objective about it. And so you're just stepping back away from it for a little bit, giving yourself some time to sort of get back grounded and be more objective about it. Ten of Bows talks about putting down some type of responsibility. And I think that if that's tied in with our High Priestess in reverse, it's because we are, yeah, we're just wanting to get a chance to be able to think straight about something where we're having a hard time doing that right now. Gemini. Oh, Geminis, look at you. You've got the Wanderer. This would be like the Fool in any other deck. This is my Leap of Faith card as far as I'm concerned. So, Geminis, you've got something going on definitely where your psychic abilities, your intuition is making itself known in a way that is undeniable today. And I think that for you, it actually sort of starts you on a path to deeper exploration and further mastery of those abilities. Good for you. Makes me think of somebody I know that had an experience like that. Next up, we're looking at Cancer. Mm. Two of Vessels coming up in reverse. Cancers, I think what we have here is There's something that you used to be attracted to, that you used to want to spend more time with, that you used to want to be just kind of sucked into, and it was fine. Lately, you're kind of thinking, I don't know, I could kind of take that or leave that now. I don't need to know more about it or spend more time with it, whether it's a person, an activity, a project, whatever. And I think that it's really hard for you to be objective about this situation. This is our situation where you're having a hard time being objective here. You may get an insight about it today, but I think that's a smaller percentage of you. I think a lot of you are just kind of confused about this. When the High Priestess is in reverse and she can't be objective, she's pretty confused. Boop-a-da-doo. Let's look at Leo. Leo, Leo, Leo. Eight of Stones. So, Leos, you may be having a hard time being objective about something going on with the work that you do, whether that work is for somebody else or for yourself or whatever. You may have a hard time being objective about some aspect of that right now. Now, in other cases, more like 20-25% of the cases, there is an alternate meaning for those of you in the minority, and that is that you are working on, like consciously working on increasing your psychic abilities. Okay. So if you're not confused about work, then you are consciously working on increasing your psychic abilities. And that may be your self work right now, or it may be the work that you do. Maybe you're already a light worker and you're just expanding your abilities. Fire signs generally are good at manipulating energy or doing magic or manifesting, however you want to say that. Virgo, Virgo, Virgo. Okay, Virgos, you've got the green woman in reverse. Virgos, I think that you're having a hard time being objective about something because you have somebody around you who is trying to they're trying to be in charge. They're trying to be the boss and they're overstepping their bounds. And I think that this has you thrown a little bit. There's some part of you that is like, wait a second, are you legit right now? And another part of you that's like, there is no way this person is legit right now. Are you for real? Are you legit? So I think you're trying to sort out. I think you're trying to sort out really pecking order between yourself and this person, and maybe other people as well, because this person is really trying to step into other people's territory. And I guarantee you, if she's trying to step in your territory, you're not the only one. Not the way she's showing up here. Next, we're looking at Libra. Eight of Vessels showing up in reverse, Libras. Boop-a-da-doo-doo. Libras, you've got something going on in your life that you just don't understand what's happening there, and you can't leave it alone. I really get the sense that you've tried to walk away from sorting this out. I feel like you've told yourself, if I sorted this out, I would not be thinking like a logical human being if I understood this. And I think you've just tried to walk away from this situation that's really confusing for you before. But once again, like I said, I keep hearing you can't leave it alone. You keep being drawn to come back and try to analyze that and try to make it make sense and try to understand it. And so I see you doing that again. Might be a good time to get a reading. That way, if you don't have any kind of evidence in front of you that helps you sort something out, when you get a reading, at least you can get somebody who can look into the energy and see what's really going on, even if you don't have the evidence. And that can bring you some kind of peace of mind or some kind of direction in which you want to act. But it keeps you out of this. I view it as kind of crazy making thinking whenever we're trying to analyze something that is kind of not logical and not analyzable. We could spend a lot of time spinning our gears on that. So don't do that. Whatever you do, whether you get a reading or don't spin your gears on this too much. All right. I know it's the principle, guys. I know it is. I can hear you out there saying it's the principle I need to know. But really, think about how important is it for you to know? Isn't it more important for you to just move forward? You get to make your choices. Next up is Scorpio. Scorpio. I did do some things to adjust my sound since the last video, guys. So if this is better, I would love to know. If it's not, one or two of you telling me is enough. We don't need a whole chorus on that. All right, Scorpios. Page of Vessels. This is interesting because I think, we're going to be hearing from somebody. How is this playing out? How is this playing out for us Scorpios? I think we're going to be hearing from somebody who's struggling with their own intuitive abilities and maybe struggling with making peace with them or harnessing them or just recognizing them. And I think we're going to be hearing from that person how much they appreciate us. Now, obviously, that fits in my life since I do mentoring for people to help control their psychic abilities. That's kind of not an everyday thing, but a fairly often thing. But I think even for people who don't do what I do, I still think that this is still what's coming up on the board. So I think that even if you guys are not into, doing the light work as your career, still just the idea that you're as empathic as you are, you're as sensitive as you are, and Scorpios were known to be sensitive. I think that's helping somebody around you. You have some good guidance for somebody around you who's kind of struggling with that, uh, understanding their own abilities and how to harness them, or maybe even just understanding that they have them at all, what's going on with them. I think you're helping them, and I think they're expressing their appreciation. All right, let's look at Sagittarius. 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 Okay. Three of Stones in this card. This is my creativity card, and that actually goes along with numerology quite well. The threes have to do with creativity and numerology. So Sagittarius, I think you've got some different directions you can go as far as your creative outlets right now. And with that High Priestess showing up in reverse or the Seer in reverse in this deck, I think what's going on is you're a little bit confused about which way you want to take your creativity right now. What do you want to make your priority as far as your creativity goes? Which way do you want to focus here? Those are the types of things that you're working on sorting out today. Capricorn, what do you have? Put on your seatbelt and your hard hat, guys. This is a little bit rougher than some of the other ones. So you have the mourning card, which sometimes it is literally mourning for somebody who has passed away. Sometimes it is that there's some kind of great sadness. Maybe you lost a job, you weren't expecting that, something like that. And it doesn't have to be that big either. I've had this card come up for me when I was watching the news later on that day, and there was a show that came up about a dog who had been particularly abused, and it just really made my heart hurt. And so this card can be something like that too. It doesn't have to be like immediate in your face personal. Now it can, but I'm saying it doesn't have to be, which is the truth, because I don't want anybody to panic just because we got this card. So there's a lot of confusion here around this mourning situation or this great sadness situation. So there may be somebody who, for some of you, there may be somebody who has actually crossed over, and there's a lot of confusion around how did that happen or why did that happen. Um, could be for some of you. For others of you, uh, some kind of sadness has happened, and still some of the same questions. How could that have happened? Why did that happen? Either way, I think you're really trying to just process and work through how this could be, whatever this is that you're being told about, whether it's, a giant ordeal or whether it's a tiny one. Because even though the cards are pretty accurate about what they're bringing up, each of us, even in the same sign, we have different things going on astrologically. So, where we may have, somebody else who's the same sign as us that has this energy in their lives that's really big, and has a huge impact. For others, this may have a smaller impact. It may still show up, but it may have just a smaller impact. And of course, it's a general reading, so it may not apply for everyone. You may have something in your chart that negates whatever's going on here to cause this. So, doesn't have to even happen to you. Boop-a-da-doop-a. But never assume the worst. Guys, when you get a tarot reading, never assume the worst. Always know there's a range. There's a range, and usually you're somewhere in the middle, but never assume the worst. So for some of you, there is confusion about somebody who has crossed over, how that happened. For others of you, there's some other kind of sadness where there is confusion about that. Confusion about whatever the sadness is, either way, whichever way it comes through for you. All right, let's look at Aquarius. And by the way, if it does happen to manifest that there's confusion about the death of somebody that means a lot to you, I am so sorry. Let's look at Aquarius. We need to move on here. Let's look at Aquarius. Aquarius. Okay, this is interesting. You guys have the green man showing up in reverse. Aquarius, I feel like you're stepping up into a level of leadership that you haven't had before. And I think that you're not exactly understanding. There's a lot of confusion for you about how was I chosen to be the one to do this? And additionally, I think there's a lot of confusion about exactly how am I going to pull this off, by the way. But I do think that your level of leadership somewhere in your life is upgrading, whether that's in your personal life or whether that's in your career, whatever, leadership. You're stepping up to the plate, confused or not, objective or not. You're stepping up into the plate, so it's time to work on doing the self-work and getting your stuff together so you can do a good job. And I do see you actually doing a good job here. I just think it's going to be a little confusing at first. Next up, we're looking at Pisces. World cards showing up in reverse for you, Pisces. Where's the glare? Out of the glare. Okay, so world card in reverse, Pisces. Basically, with that seer in reverse, I think there's something where you're trying to finish something up and tie up all the loose ends and be able to pack it away in the closet and forget about it for a while, at least for a while. And there's a little bit of a delay or a little bit of a resistance or a holding back on being able to do that. I don't think it's that you won't be able to do that. I just think there's some type of delay. There's some type of resistance here that you weren't counting on that keeps you from wrapping up all those loose ends right exactly when you were expected to. Okay. So that's what I've got for you guys. That's what I've got for everybody. Thank you guys so much for being here today. I do appreciate your continued loyal support. I know some of you have been watching me since whew, 2013, 2012, whenever I first started doing these videos. Thank you, thank you. And if you haven't been watching me that long still, thank you for coming back and being a loyal supporter. I appreciate it. And remember, I'm not getting paid by anybody to show you guys any kind of laser hair removal products or high fashion things or sell anything else. So you guys have all the responsibility of being my sponsors. So that means I'm counting on you guys to put thumbs ups on these videos, share them out with others, and put comments down below. And then last but not least, of course, I am looking forward to doing some readings with you guys today, either on the phone or online. And if you need a reading, just get a hold of me. All my contact information is on my website, and we will get you scheduled quickly, get you taken care of. Okay, so that's what I've got for today, guys. Everybody have a fantastic day. Peace out.